is KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank.
Welcome, everybody, to Run It Back. And for those who do not know, and for those that do, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Jazsmin Halliburton. You guys might have seen me around on campus, on the sidelines. I was a K-State sideline reporter for K-State HD TV, doing everything, everywhere, all at once. It feels like I'm also doing another show called Run It Back at Wildcat 91.9. So now I'm on to bigger and better things right here with KCSN. So welcome to Run It Back, y'all. Let's get into it. So I don't know if y'all heard. I don't know if y'all know. I don't know if y'all spotted with your own two eyes, but y'all got to look out for K-State soccer right now. I'm just saying, because so far they are no losses. Once again, they have draws, 2 draws against top 25 teams already this season. I get it. One of them was an exhibition match against Arkansas, who was ranked number 8. It's not going to go towards anything. I get that. I understand that. But it's on the road. A draw against the number 8 ranked team in the country in Arkansas. This is on the road, guys. I'm just telling you, this team is already taking really big steps in such a short amount of time. And then again, they played, yesterday against number 18th ranked Northwestern. And Northwestern handed K-State soccer an absolute heartbreaker last season. It was once again going to be a draw, 1-1 tie. And then in the 70th minute, homegirl, a defender, I think he's never scored a goal before, did a bicycle kick as a game winner. I mean, it was amazing. I got to give homegirl her props. But it hurt my soul because it was one of those games where it was tit for tat, 1-1. It might have just go down to a draw and I'd be grateful for it. But no, unfortunately, that wasn't the case. But I like to think this as K-State kind of getting their lick back a little bit because Northwestern wasn't ranked when K-State played them last season. You feel me? But they're ranked this time. They went to their home field. They wasn't going to get clapped. Okay. It ended up being a 0-0 draw, all defense. Okay. Once again, 2 top 25 matchups that we had. No losses, only draws. Okay, look here. You take that what you will, but that sounds like K-State soccer's on the come up, baby. You feel me? But we still got to deep dive a little bit more into what K-State soccer is doing because I know last year, doing sideline, I went to so many games that they all kind of bleed in together. But I got to talk to Coach Dabini a lot of times, okay? And before every game, sometimes after the games as well, okay? And I know Coach Dabini and a lot of the players, they play kind of with that chip on their shoulder. You know what I mean? This is once again still a new program and still got baby steps to take before they get any further than they want to go. But about this team, like they play with a chip on their shoulder. Last year, they were all about wanting to go to the Big 12 championship tournament. Last year, they were able to do that. That was the first time in program history that they've been able to go to the Big 12 championship. Unfortunately, their first matchup was against 17th ranked Texas and didn't quite go as planned. They ended up losing 4-0 in there. But still, once again, like I said, for a brand new program, it's a toddler essentially, right? They're still trying to make steps and they were able to do that. And they're trying to get to the next phase of their plan. And that's honestly going back to Big 12 championship games that they do have and also getting more results that they have there. But that's just part of that team that they have. They want to achieve more results. They want to get better. They want to be hungry. They are hungry to get better. And let's be honest, they have a lot of opportunities too because y'all heard, y'all don't live under a rock. Conference realignment has pretty much taken over college athletics. We know that. An already tough Big 12 schedule, it is about to get even tougher because now you bring in the likes just like Colorado soon enough, who's had a really good program the past few years, and BYU ain't nothing to sneeze at as well. I'm not too sure about what Houston have or what Cincinnati has, but either way, you ain't gonna sleep on none of them folks, you feel me? But still, some of the qualities that I see from this K-State women's soccer team is, bro, they're physical. They are so physical, and I love every bit of it because it's one thing because I wasn't familiar with a lot of K-State soccer last season. I admit, I'm ashamed to admit, but I do admit last season was my first real taste, and I'm like, bro, they got that dog in them, okay? I'm telling you now, listen closely. K-State women's soccer got that dog in them, okay? They're physical. They're going to come at you every single time. You're going to come out the game with a little bit of bumps and bruises, but don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. They're not coming there playing dirty. They're not going to come in like the gross sisters from the Proud Family taking girls' lunch money. That's not what it is. They're making physical plays And that's just the energy that they're going to bring. And you better match that energy or you're going to get an unpleasant surprise. You feel me? So that's just about this team. They're hungry and they're physical, okay? And I want to tell you guys a little story too before we get into this next thing, because before this past game, K-State beat Green Bay 4-1. Once again, another game on the road. And someone I need to highlight from that game is none other than sophomore defender Jazsmin Brown, okay? Once again, another person, she's a killer. She got that dog in her. Because I think it was against, I want to say TCU. Anyone who recalls this story, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was against TCU. Once again, TCU at that time was a top 25 team. They had a homegirl named Messiah Bright, who I think is in the NWSL right now, killing it. But she was one of the top forwards in the country, right? And senior, you got Jazsmin Brown, who's a freshman defender already. And she had the task of guarding her. And it was, once again, a really tough matchup with TCU. Ended up losing that game 1-0. But it's always tit for tat with the Horned Frogs, right? But I believe in this game, I don't know who was trying to dog on Jazsmin Brown, but she got fouled. She got fouled really, really hard. And she wasn't going to take that kind of mess. Because the very next possession, just not even a full minute after, she came right back and boom, knocked that girl on her back pockets and stared her down. Have that thought. She got a yellow card, but worth it in my opinion. Because bro, this is a freshman doing this. This is a freshman that said, knocked the girl on her back pockets, stared her down, saying, "You not gonna punk me." And I'm like, I couldn't be more hype on that sideline. You feel me? Because this is something you don't really see a lot in women's sports, unfortunately. You know it's there. But you know how people react to the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese smack talking and they pretty much lost their marbles. Okay, this happens a lot, and you just gotta know, it's there, and I love to see it when it's there in women's sports, because that's just how you know it. Every single one of them, they got that dog in them as well. Because this was once again a freshman doing this up against senior forwards. You are not gonna punk me. You foul me hard. Guess what? You're not gonna do it again. Type of mentality. Of course, no one got hurt, and I really appreciate that because I'm not supporting violence, no way, form, or fashion. But I am applauding the competitiveness. And just that, you know what I mean? Once again, having that dog that you're not going to punk me. It's Jazsmin Brown. It's everybody on this team. And I know even another story that we have with Aleda Warmeyer. She was goalkeeper for K-State women's soccer last season. She kind of brought that toughness too. Because there was a time other girl got into her face. And once again, nobody's backing down. No one's hurt. It's once again, this competitiveness. You see this all the time in football. You see this all the time in men's basketball. It's just, once again, you love to see also that type of competitiveness, that type of fire and passion that you see in these women's sports. And they're doing it. I know, once again, this is a program. This is a young program who is still trying to take some stepping stones. And them having that fire, that passion, and that competitiveness, bro, that's telling you this is a step in the right direction, So once again, moving back on to Jazsmin Brown and what she's been able to do already. Once again, she's a freshman last year. Right, so you've got a whole season now under her belt. Okay, so once again, one of the main defenders, a starter now, and she stands at 5'10". She's one of the tallest players on the pitch, and she scored 2 goals against Green Bay. I want to say it last week, both on corners, both on set pieces. And for those who may or may not know, it's when they swim the ball, gets hit by the defenders, pretty much behind the goal. Okay, at any point you're going to get a set piece, you're going to get a corner. Okay, and you have 5'10". Jazsmin Brown running into the 6-yard box, pretty much trying to outjump everybody, get a header, score a goal. That's pretty much what happened, and it happened twice, okay? And it happened twice. And it's just amazing how this could be used in a part of her game because she's one of the tallest players on the field at 5'10". And I want to see, I'm trying to do a little bit of a player comparison. One player comparison I wrote down is Wendy Renard. Probably don't know her. She's on the French women's national team. They're in the World Cup. She's hard to miss, bro. She's a 6'2" tall defender. Okay, she's one of the top defenders in the world, same position that Jazsmin Brown plays. Once again, tallest player on the pitch. I get it. Jazsmin Brown probably got a long way to go before she can reach to Wendy's level, but still it's that player comparison because they always look to her on corners. They always look for her on other set pieces because she's literally the tallest player on the pitch. It's hard not to try to get the ball to her. And that's what I think is going to be the position that Jazsmin Brown is going to kind of inflict with this offense as well. And not only that, they can be used for headers because obviously you score 2 headers in a game, you're going to get a lot more attention now. And that's what they're going to use. They're going to get the ball to her making more opportunities. And then that means they can possibly also use Jazsmin Brown as a decoy for someone else to run in near post and score a goal. I'm just saying, having that ability along with the other ones who can create goals, because we also have Karen Singh, who was credited to 2 assists for those Jazsmin Brown goals. And we can honestly not forget anyone else who scored goals, as well as the OG on this team, Aaliyah El Nagar, along with freshman Josie's also scoring in that game as well. And we'll get back just a little bit before we go to home field apparel, which we're going to hit on, and more K-State soccer when we get back right here. Once again, K-State home apparel, where I got this really sick shirt from the 1993 Copper Bowl for K-State football. So go ahead and copy you guys one. We'll be right back on Run It Back.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network.
Welcome back to Run It Back with Jazsmin Halliburton on KCSN for the very first show of Run It Back. And I have a very special guest, none other than all Big 12 rookie team who led the K-State Wildcats in kills and points per set, none other than Shaylee Myers. Everyone do a snap or an applause wherever you may be listening to. Shaylee, thank you so much for coming on today.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And I know I've actually talked to you, I want to say, a year ago in some change from right now, to be honest. We did one of those podcast profiles I did for Smackdown and stuff. So, man, thank you for coming on. I love talking to you the first time. So,
yeah.
Okay, so Shaylee, I do want to get this started because I know I'm going to refer to a couple things that we talked to about a year ago. Because something that did stand out to me, you said volleyball actually was your least favorite sport, and yet you are here playing Power 5 volleyball, the K-State Wildcats, one of the tougher conferences in the country. Please tell me the story.
I mean, I don't even know. I hated volleyball. I never wanted to go. My mom was like, you have soccer, volleyball, and basketball today. And I was like, can I just go to soccer and basketball? I don't really care to go to volleyball. I don't know why. I don't know why. I just liked it. Maybe I didn't think I had it. Maybe it was because I don't know. But I mean, yeah, somehow I just once I realized that I actually was talented at this sport, I think that's when I was like, oh, maybe I do actually want to do this. So I kind of, after that, once I figured out that I wanted to do volleyball, it was actually, I only want to go to volleyball. No more soccer, no more basketball. So it was a really kind of funny, quick switch around to no volleyball to all volleyball all day, every day. So that's where I am now, and that's where I still am. But now I'm in college and I love volleyball every day, and I love getting to do it every day.
I do want to know, is there an exact moment? Yesterday was no, today, the day after that, it was yes because of an exact moment. Was there something that just screamed me yep, this is the moment where I'm hanging up my soccer cleats, I'm hanging up my Jordans, and this is what I'm going to do now?
I honestly don't even think so. I think soccer, I was just getting tired. In all honesty, I don't like running. So I was outside, hot, fully gloves on, sweating. Basketball, same thing, running. I mean, not my favorite thing to do, but volleyball, I think I jump higher than I can run faster. So that was kind of just solidified it.
See, that's fine. You just gonna do a couple post-up moves. That's all right. And you just get down to the end of the court for a rebound and just pass it on, just like that. But we also, because there's a lot of questions I asked you last time that we spoke. And I asked you, what was your favorite moment of the season so far? And you said it was Mizzou, because I was doing sideline that game. That was to me, that was kind of like your coming out party. You'd be like, yo, Shaylee Myers is here. You feel me? Is that still your favorite moment? But now that you've had a full season of play, what's the answer now?
Oh, gosh. I love that game. I think it was just a really fun game because it went to 5 and everything. There was a lot of really good moments just because the team was so fun. I mean, we like to win, of course, and we won that game, so that's a plus, but it's definitely still one of my favorite games. I'm trying to think. The Texas Tech game at home was pretty fun, too. Kind of came back and won. I just still really like the Mizzou game because, that was a tough game, and Texas Tech, I think we could have done a little better that game. So I think Mizzou was really fun. And then, I mean, all the conference games are really fun. Playing Texas at home, we didn't win that game, but we honestly held our own. But this year, I think it's going to be even completely different than that, even.
Okay, so I know when I talked to you last time, it was, I want to say, a couple weeks or maybe a week before Big 12 play. Yeah. Now, once again, you dived in head first into conference play, and obviously that's different than the non-conference. What did you learn about conference play?
Honestly, I just learned that it's hard. Like, it's a lot of work. And, like, I mean, I was expecting it, but, like, goodness, like, there's just so much. It's very quick turnarounds is what I think is the biggest thing, is that, like, in high school and club, like, you had some more time between games. And, like, of course, in high school, like, you're just going to other high schools, like, in the state. But, like, we go to Texas to Oklahoma in 3 days. Or, like, West Virginia to, like, back to Kansas. So it's just kind of crazy. But it's a lot of work, a lot of practicing at different gyms, but I think that's a really cool experience. I love, like, getting to travel everywhere, and and I got to see, like, new states last year. Like, I'd never been to West Virginia, so that was kind of fun, and just stuff like that. But it's a lot of hard work, but definitely worth it, and it's a lot of fun getting to be with our teammates a lot and all the coaching staff and stuff. We just get really close.
Okay, so actually, I was going to ask this question a little bit later, but since you kind of brought it up with the traveling, because obviously conference realignment has been a huge topic of conversation around college athletics. And I know a lot of times it's mainly focused on football and men's basketball, not a lot of consideration for the lower revenue sports such as volleyball, soccer, baseball, softball, and all of that. Okay, so you did mention something about the travel and how that's a really fun part of it, but I know conference realignment has been a huge topic of conversation in the college sporting world. And I want to know, what are your thoughts on having to travel so much? Because in this conference realignment stuff, a lot of the focus has been on, football and men's basketball, and not so much thought put into it with the lower revenue sports, such as volleyball, soccer, baseball, softball, and things like that. So I want to know, what are your thoughts on having to have that kind of that travel schedule? Because you guys play a lot more games than football players do.
Yeah, we definitely do. And I don't think that people do take that into consideration, but I think it's something that they should. And I'm hoping maybe with this, they will start taking that into consideration, because especially with volleyball, like, we're a huge sport. Like, and I don't know that people know that, but they don't seem to do anything about it. But I mean, I think it can be great. I'm excited to be playing these new teams. I'm really excited to play BYU. Like, honestly, everybody joining, but it's definitely going to be different traveling to these different states and new places, and just even, like, the extra games that some teams will be having. It's definitely going to be different, but I mean, it's an experience for everyone, so it should be good. And I think we're all excited. It'll be a little something different.
Okay, because I feel like where K-State is, it's in a more favorable spot to travel to these places. Because luckily, you're not West Virginia. You have to travel all the way to Colorado, or all the way to Utah and Arizona, and doing all that. And gosh, I don't want to mention about the 4 schools from the Pac-12 joining the Big Ten. It was like, you're at Oregon, and you got to fly to New Jersey to play Rutgers.
I know.
I can't imagine. So I think K-State specifically lucked out to be able to travel, because we're perfectly centered in the country to go.
I agree. Yeah, it's not too bad getting anywhere. West Virginia is pretty far, but I mean, that's okay. We like to, they're in our conference, so. But yeah, we did kind of look out. I think we're in a pretty good spot sitting in the conference, just state-wise.
Mm-hmm. So, but still, I know this is kind of like the downside of the conference realignment, but still that upside is, like you said, that excitement of getting to play new teams. I know these teams that are already in the Big 12 are still kind of new to you, because, like I said, you're only a sophomore now. You haven't gotten a conference play again. All you know is who you played last year. But I know the seniors, I don't know if they ever got tired of having to play Texas Tech all the time, or Baylor all the time, but now you kind of get a sprinkle in somebody new, such as like another good team like BYU and their home atmosphere and things like that, and like UCF. So what is a new conference team that you're excited to play against or to travel to?
I like UCF joining our conference, but maybe that's because I like Florida, but I don't necessarily know that I'm super excited to travel there, just because it is very far, but I think it'll be fun, and we'll have a fun time. And I think we're also really excited to play BYU. I think that's going to be a good game. They're a good team, and it'll be a good matchup. And maybe getting to see Utah will be fun. I don't know much about it.
Yeah, honestly, me neither. You never really hear anyone like, "Oh, I'm from Utah."
No, not really.
But I do want to know, because I talked a little bit about BYU's home environment. I heard it's insane, and BYU is a really good school and a really good volleyball program. They got cool facilities, but they're not the only one in this conference that got really cool facilities nowadays. This is now brand spanking new, top tier K-State volleyball facilities. Please give us an insight. Give the fans something about this new facilities, because I feel a majority of us have never seen it or only found a smidge of it of what we see on social media.
It's insane. Like, every time we walk in there, it's just, I'm in awe. Like, it's literally gorgeous. Our locker room has everything that we need. The weight room is huge. It's perfect. Everybody has enough space, enough weights. Everything is really great. We have a fuel station. Our training room is in there. It's really cool. And I mean, I think the atmosphere in there is just going to be crazy. It's definitely going to be different from playing in Bramlage just because that's a basketball arena and it's just it's going to be a different feeling. We're going to feel more close and personalized with our fans, which I think is great. It definitely holds less people, but I don't necessarily think that's a downside. And I mean, we're just so excited. Seeing that place full, especially like during the Nebraska game, it's going to be crazy. Definitely going to be very excited.
So before this, facilities was built, what was something that was really missing that you just know that you're just going to really appreciate now that you do have this facility?
Honestly, I think our training room is a big upgrade. It's crazy. Like, there's so many tables in there. There's so much room. We can do, there's everything we need for rehab is in there. And also the ice bath. The cold tub is crazy. We didn't really have much of one in our old facility that we practiced in, so that's a big plus. And like, we definitely utilize that. Most of us are in the honestly, all of us are in the cold tubs like after lots of practices. And honestly, that's just something that's gonna really help us refuel for the next everything else that we have coming up.
Okay, cool. So I also wanted to talk about this because you guys got a brand new coach in this year, Coach Manfield, and I want to know. Because in a lot of schools and a lot of different teams, when they lose a head coach, a lot of players, they tend to enter the transfer portal as well. What made you want to stay at K-State?
I wanted to stay at K-State just because of the team. The culture that we have here is crazy. It's so good. We're all so close, best friends. And we just love each other on and off the court on a very personal level, which is amazing. And I mean, we all knew that the new arena was coming up, and I think we just all knew that it was a brand new start, including myself. Like, okay, the coaches left, but like, we built a culture here. The older girls, the seniors, they'd built something here that's really special. And I think we all just kind of wanted to see how it played out. And I'm glad we all did.
Okay, so still, once again, Coach Mansfield, a lot of us don't know really too much about him, like his K-State fan wise, and of course, don't know fully yet, until the season starts. But what can you tell us about Coach Mansfield, how he's come in, how he's fit in to, Manhattan lifestyle, the family lifestyle here?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great person, which I think is like the most important. He's really family oriented, which helps us out a lot. I mean, a lot of us aren't by our families, so it's kind of nice to have that feel. He can help us with that stuff along with all the coaching staff. And I mean, as a coach, I think he's a good coach. He pushes us in practice. He'll tell us what we need to hear, but he's also very good about the way that he communicates, and he's understanding. But the practices, I like the way they're ran this year. They're very upbeat, energetic, and we compete a lot. And I think that's great. And I think it's only going to make us better. So I really think he can do a lot of really good things for us. And I think we have all the girls that we need and all the talent. And with the coaching staff that we have as well, I think we're just going to go. I think we can go really far this year. Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. So also, because talked about last year as well, I asked one of the things I asked you what could you improve on as a player. And you talked about your defense on the back line, and you worked with the coaching staff a lot on trying to improve that and everything. What is something that you want to focus on through this season and also with this coaching staff to get better on?
Yeah, I mean, this year, I think I will be playing also on right side. So I definitely really want to focus on right side blocking and even just like attacking over there. It's a new position for me, but I really like it actually. And I think I can get to be pretty good at it. So I just want to keep growing over there, really focus on the blocking. So if I can set up a good block for the middles and the back row, then we can be really successful along with everybody else that's blocking with me front row.
Okay. So, and also, because you're from Lincoln, Nebraska, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a particular Big Red team is going to be on this schedule, one of the first few games in the new facilities, right? And it's Nebraska. It's a former Big 12 rival, and also you're from Nebraska. Is that game kind of like circled on your calendar a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. I think I have a lot of friends coming, a lot of family coming. Me, Molly, Brenna, and Ava on my team are all from Nebraska, so that's going to be really fun. We're gonna have a lot of fans for us, and I'm honestly just like really excited to play them. I think we're going into the super open mindset, and I think it's gonna be really good. It's gonna be really competitive. It's gonna be a fun game.
Okay, cool. And I know this is a bit of a pivot on what I want to talk to you about, because I know I just finished up grad school, getting my master's and everything, and I did my thesis on the mental health of athletes. I talked about players, about how they separate from their specific sport and to student life, because being a student athlete is really, really hard. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of regular folk don't fully understand what the schedule is like for a student athlete. So how do you kind of like mentally like separate yourself, from volleyball, to make sure it's not all about volleyball and you can focus on something else? It doesn't have to be school, because no one wants to focus on school all the damn time either, right? Yeah. So like, how do you kind of help separate yourself? Do you try to like watch movies? Do you try to read? What do you do that helps you?
Yeah, it's definitely hard. It's one of the harder things, I think, about being a student athlete, is keeping everything separated. Like, we have social life, school, and volleyball, and downtime. So it's definitely hard trying to balance all those things. But me, like, I just try to go in it like one day at a time. Like, let's say today is an off day for volleyball, so like I get to focus on school today and other things that I might want to focus on. And then tomorrow I have school and volleyball. So I just kind of go at it like day by day. So tomorrow I'll have class in the morning, but then once class is done, I'll go pretty much straight to the new arena. So once I'm there, it's volleyball mindset. And then once I'm out of the done with practice and out of the arena, I can focus on personal care, things like that. So I just kind of try to like block it up depending on what I'm doing. And the team, and we have a lot of support staff that's really good at helping us with that too.
Okay. Is that something like, what is something that you kind of like learned from your freshman year? Because like you said, it was new, competition was harder. Obviously the travel, and you're like really deep diving into student athlete life for the first time last year. What did you kind of learn about yourself from compared to right now?
Probably just like that I'm not great at time management. Last year it was definitely hard for me to get up and go to class sometimes, but now I know like that how to do it better, and I realize that I need to focus a little bit more on the school side of things. So I think I know what I'm doing now, which is definitely helpful. And I think a lot of freshmen probably go through that, but now I just kind of know how to navigate it better now. So that's good.
Okay, cool. So now, last question before I let you go, Shaylee. What is the expectations that you guys have for this team this year?
We want to make it to the tournament, and I think we're going to make it to the tournament. We just want to have a winning season. And honestly, I wouldn't say that we're an underdog, because we're a good team. We're a great team, actually. But I think that people don't really think about us when they're thinking about Big 12 volleyball. It's more Texas, Baylor, maybe even BYU now. And I think we're going to switch that around and show people who we are.
All right. So everybody, that was none other than, once again, all Big 12 rookie team, Shaylee Myers. You can watch K-State volleyball. They will be headed for Portland, Oregon. I want to say this week, going for the Hotel Vance Rose City Showdown. I believe all of these games will be aired on ESPN Plus. And if y'all got it like that, I encourage y'all to please tune in to ESPN Plus. Thank you, Shaylee, for joining us here on this very first episode of Run It Back. We'll be right back after this short break.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network. Make sure you download our new app. Find it on the App Store or Google Play. Just search KC Sports Network.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to Run It Back here on KCSN. And if you missed it, we had none other than Shaylee Myers joining the show. Once again, like I said before, with K-State soccer, K-State volleyball also got that dog in them, okay? Do not sleep on the women's sports here at Kansas State University. And I ain't even touched on K-State women's basketball yet, okay? Look here. This is going to be just a season of a whole lot of damn good things that are going on. And it's stuff that you're not going to want to miss, okay? And I know I talked a little bit about it before at the beginning of the show, talking about K-State soccer. And there's a couple things that I didn't get a chance to talk to, even though I did highlight Jazsmin Brown. As like I said, I'm going to keep on saying it until y'all understand, okay? Dog. K-State women's soccer, K-State volleyball, K-State women's basketball, okay, all the women's sports that we have here. K-State rowing, I'm sure they even got some dog in them. I'm telling you, you got to put some respect on the names. You feel me? Once again, talking about Jazsmin Brown and what this team did to Green Bay last week, beating them 4-1. And it was crazy because you can just see the change that's going on in this K-State soccer team, because they allowed an early goal against Green Bay. I want to say it was, the 18th minute of the game, they allowed an early goal, and they're like, we ain't even going to trip, right? And they actually it might have been the ninth minute, and then K-State ended up scoring in the 18th minute, and there was just, snowballing effects from there on the Green Bay's end, right? And K-State ended up handling the business. 2 goals from sophomore Jazsmin Brown, defender, 5'10". Okay, she's gonna start doing something. This is her first career goal at K-State is against Green Bay. So bigger and better things coming up for Jazsmin Brown this season. Like I said, I compared her to Wendy Renard, French women's national team legend, one of the best defenders in the world, tallest player on the pitch at 6'2", and that's where they always gonna go for headers when anyone's playing against Wendy, right? And I think that could be a very similar style of play for Jazsmin Brown. Like I said before, I know there's a big gap in between Jazsmin Brown and Wendy Renard. I understand that's got a long way to go, but still that style of play can be very similar for with K-State and what they have with Jazsmin Brown. And once again, that's not the only player I can highlight. I'm just telling you, Karen C. Okay, she's a transfer from, I want to say, UTSA, coming in with a lot of experience because this is a really young team. Coach Dabini talked about how this is a young team, lost a lot of, good players from last year like Kyler Goins, okay? And it's hard to replace those type of players, but you do have someone coming in with experience, 42 starts at UTSA to Karen, and having 2 assists in that game, both of them to Jazsmin Brown. And what she's coming in from UTSA is 7 goals and 6 assists. So not only can she drop some dimes, she can score some goals as well. And the other 2 goals from that game against Green Bay was Aaliyah El Nagar, one of the OGs on this team, a grad student, how she tallied a goal along with freshman Josie. And I know Aaliyah, she was battling with some injuries last season. She's finally healthy, and boom, what is she doing at the start of the season? She's scoring goals. And once again, that's a huge, and for the freshman Josie's, it's always good when you see freshmen or just young players scoring goals early in their career, because that's just a bit of confidence that they're going to need later on, not only when conference play starts, but to get that leadership build up for when they're a couple years down the road when they're upperclassmen, right? So a lot of good things from that Green Bay game where K-State won 4-1. But now we move on to the game that was yesterday. They went up against number 18th ranked Northwestern. I talked a little bit before the show as well. Northwestern, when we played them last season, it ended up in a heartbreaker. Northwestern wasn't ranked at that point in time of the season, I don't think, and it was going to be a 1-1 draw. Crossed your fingers, it was getting close. Somebody was going to score next, but you hoped it would at least end in a draw. Unfortunately, that was not the case because it ended up being a bicycle kick game winner in the 70th minute by, I think, a senior who's never scored a goal because she was a defender. I was like, damn, that is a tough way to lose this game at home. But, it is what it is. Sports are sports. Things feel good. Things don't. But still, like I said before, I think K-State got a little bit of a lick back because Northwestern was ranked this time. We played at Northwestern, and it ended up being a 0-0 draw. So you got from a game with high-powered offense against Green Bay where they had 27 shots, 10 shots on goal, and only 2 offside in 12 quarters. We have that much offensive possibilities and only 2 offsides. That sounds pretty efficient to me. But, I don't know everything, but to me, in my eyes, that looks pretty efficient, you know what I mean? But once again, you go to a high offensive game you better, tie up your boots to a really tough defensive game because the Cats defended 19 shots from Northwestern, including 5 shots that were on goal. And that resulted in 5 saves for newcomer Mercy Shape. She seems to be that person for the Wildcats this season, a new keeper in goal who was actually on the New Zealand women's national team, by the way. I think that's a little fun fact. She's still young, a sophomore, transfer from Jacksonville. She was one of the top goalkeepers in the Athletic Sun Conference. So just having her in the net is going to bring a lot of confidence because Coach Dabini said after that game against Northwestern that it was she just kind of oozes that confidence and that type of energy and that type of command for that back line for what they need to do defensively. And you have that. And she's a sophomore. She's still really young on a really young team. And just to ooze that kind of confidence for a young team altogether, that's just going to be more room and just a huge, what am I trying to say? An improvement of experience and confidence for not only her, but the entire team moving forward when they're all upperclassmen. So in the future, that's just going to be insane for them. So Murphy, she had to be the MVP of that game. I know I didn't watch because that game was on the Big Ten Network. And who the hell got a Big Ten Network? None of us, right? But I know a lot of their games coming up this season is going to be on ESPN Plus, including their very first home game of the season against UTSA. That will be on the 24th at 7 p.m. whistle time, okay? So that's going to be on ESPN Plus. So please check that out. And then we'll be right back here next week for more of your Run It Back here with Jazsmin Halliburton. Thank you guys so much. See you next time.